Mona Lisa here with Her and the D, and I have my wonderful host Jay Reed and Dr. No.
Dr. Dope.
We back again to talk to y'all about some very interesting topics. Now, first I want to talk about what's going on a lot with our young women where they get into altercations with these men and then they look around for somebody to help them. I had to deal with that personally with my son. He helped a damsel in distress. But I encountered an incident where a man was married and he was like, "This is get out of help a damsel in distress card." So what y'all think about that? Nola, you're married, so, or
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
No, you're married. So how do you feel? Do you feel like it's your obligation to help a woman in distress? A
You know,
damsel?
it all depends on the situation. You know, that's the big thing because there's a whole lot of things going on here right now that you don't want to walk up on nothing that you don't know nothing about. The stuff been going on, and here you come. You know what I mean? And you can be a mark. All of it don't always have to be a damsel in distress. It can be a damsel with a partner that's ready to rip you off.
Yeah.
So you always got to be careful. But that's why I pray. You know what I'm saying? I pray, and I think to myself that if my wife was out there in some trouble or something like that, that somebody that's a honest person out there, whatever would, she was in some trouble, that would help her out, things like that. But you got to be real cautious about that nowadays.
Because imagine you go
Nowadays.
to help someone and you're either permanently scarred or disfigured, or worse, you
Or
lose
worse.
your life. Now your wife and children are left alone.
Right. Because there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of things that's, mm, people don't want to help people no more like they used to.
Well, my take on it is, nope, I ain't helping. I'm not stopping. I'm not doing nothing.
How did I know you were
I'm
gonna
not
say that?
calling the police. Good luck, arm yourself, get a CPL, ladies, whatever, because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to change your tire. I'm not going to get those thugs from the gas station off you. That's not my job. It's not my responsibility. Nope, nope, nope.
Now piggybacking off what Nola said, because you have daughters, Jerry,
I have
wouldn't
daughters.
you want to put that karma out there for someone to want to help your daughters because you helped someone else's child?
Nope.
Because we're all someone's child.
Nope, not at all. I teach my daughters
Y'all better be careful, ladies.
the best way to maybe not get in those situations is, practice, responsibility about where you're going, the time
And
you're going,
restraint.
and the restraint. And also, I tell a lot of women, because I run into these women all the time in clubs, bars, and everything. You can't beat a man up, so you really shouldn't argue with him. You really, if it gets to the point where it's something physical, call the police or call for help of some other sort. I'm not a cop, so I can't help you. But most of the time when I see, well, not most, I'll say some of the times when I see these situations where these women are in these situations, rather than de-escalate the situation, they escalate the situation.
Exactly.
So many times I talk to women, I'm 5'2", 130 pounds, but I feel like I'm 6'5", 250. I'll beat up any guy that comes across me. And no, you won't.
It's more fighting that dog.
Exactly.
Like they have more to lose by getting beat up by a woman.
No, you won't.
But the incident I had was with my son who worked at Home Depot, and one of his coworkers got into it with the customer, and the customer was so upset because she hit him with the buggy twice the day before.
Wow.
He was so upset that he came back the next day to lay hands on her and not to pray.
The
It was
customer
not to
did.
pray. Yeah, the customer did. He came back to lay hands. Now my son, being a great young man that I raised, pat on the back for me. Anyway, he like, dog, I can't let you beat the young girl up. He like, this, just talk to the manager, she'll get fired, whatever. He said before he knew it, my son says the man that headbutted him in the mouth. Now my son then lost 3 teeth behind
Is
it.
this on the premises?
On the premises of Home Depot.
No, see, that's wrong. See,
And I advise to go to Home Depot and talk to security, because that guy is there to protect the people in that store.
That's
I mean,
right.
I understand your son, he was doing a great thing, and I mean, you appreciate that, but when you get in those situations, sometimes it's those consequences, and I'm pretty sure when he was like, I'm going to de-escalate, because he was trying to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, he was just standing in between
Exactly.
them.
And this guy, like a lot of people don't have home training. A lot of people don't have fathers or mothers to teach them how to act in public. I see it so many times where people go to these fast food restaurants and you forgot my fries, and they throwing a drink in the people's face, and your immediate reaction is, I'm going to go over there and you just assaulted me, so I'm gonna defend myself. So
And we can't do
it's a
that
catch
nowadays.
22. It's tough, like because the honorable thing is always, especially a woman, protect a woman. That's what we was raised and brought into. But like you said, and then what Nolan said, some of these situation scenarios, it might be a setup.
It could
I
be
mean,
a
obviously with
setup.
your son, it wasn't.
Right,
But
right.
sometimes, you get in more trouble. I remember one of the first things I learned, I was probably maybe 13 years old, and my across the street neighbors, it was a man and a woman. He was fighting his girlfriend. They was fighting. So my sister's friend, he goes over there to break up the fight. They jumped him. And that was him. Yeah, no, both of them.
Yeah.
They united as a couple, and like, you know what, we about to kick your ass because
Right. How dare you break
our
us
fight
up?
situation.
Our fight
So
up.
I saw that. Eyes got big. I was like, man, they kicking his ass. Won't be me.
It's a learning. It's definitely a learning experience because now my son's attitude is no more. Like, I don't care who in trouble. And he has a woman and children. He like, I don't care.
Wow.
I'm not about to put myself in a situation where I'm going to be permanently disfigured and now we looking at thousands of dollars in dental bills and no help.
No
Because
help.
whose fault is it? My son's for being a good Samaritan, I guess, because it's definitely our debt.
And I guarantee Home Depot was like, oh well.
Right.
They not. I guarantee they didn't step in and say, well, thanks for protecting our
Oh,
customers.
no, he got fired.
They fired him.
See, there you go.
There you go. Good Samaritans always finish last. Nope.
No.
You driving off.
I would say always, but yeah, he definitely regrets it.
See, that's
And that's
messed up.
sad.
Right,
I
that's
feel
messed
bad
up.
for
That's
him.
a terrible
That is so
situation
bad.
for doing what we always say would be the right thing,
Right,
but you
exactly.
got the wrong ending to the circumstances.
Right.
No,
They didn't want no liability or whatever like that or whatever. And your son lost 3 teeth, right?
Right.
So where's his
right.
the company?
Compensation.
Where's the company defending his, honor or whatever like that since he worked there?
And now he has to get a lawyer and figure out who
I would
he
tell your
wants
son to get Top Dog, because if I hear one more of them commercials,
So
Exactly.
who talking about?
Top Dog, and get your millions of
Well, I
dollars.
never heard Top Dog. I
They just in Detroit too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of,
heard just go
we gonna
Johnny.
call Top Dog.
You're right.
Just go Johnny.
Just call Johnny. I love all our commercials. Detroit do be having some of the best
Best
commercials.
commercials
Them
ever.
are the commercials we give you. Having you locked
Call old
in.
Mike Morris.
Right. Call Jeffrey Feiger. Jeffrey Feiger own Home Depot.
Oh,
before it's over with.
Jeffrey ain't taking that case though.
He said not taking that.
Jeffrey ain't taking that case.
Now, one thing I will say, if you got a smart mouth and you want to be out here fighting people, I hope you got some backup. Like, you should have another female to help you or something. Like, if you were in a polygamous relationship, you and your sister wife better jump in there and
You know what?
whoop his butt, because you by yourself, it ain't gonna happen.
Just use extreme caution and figure out the situation. That what is it? Are you going to be in a situation where it's going to hurt your family?
Exactly.
Right.
There you go.
Because even as women, if we're in a situation where it's only us women there, and it's a woman and a man having an altercation, they be looking at the other women. I'm like, listen here, sis, whatever you ate that morning that made you feel like you can whoop his butt, I didn't eat that. All I had was some eggs and bacon. I don't know, you had some extra Popeye spinach. I don't know. But I don't believe that I can whoop a man's butt like you do. So until I take the classes you took and eat the meal you ate that made you feel like you was strong as Popeye King Kong,
Right.
I'ma just look. What I can do is be a witness. I can record it so when the police come, I can show them exactly what happened.
Like Jay was
That's
saying.
what I can do.
Like Jay was saying, I can't defend the honor of somebody else and to jeopardize my family life and my wife. I love my wife. And I just remind her, honey, when you out there, remember, you got hollow points in there.
Exactly.
So,
Definitely.
make the right decision, because they're not gonna be just walking up on her like that.
Exactly. You always got to protect yourself.
You
Make
gotta
sure
protect yourself.
you're safe in every circumstance, everywhere you go. I tell my daughters, don't get gas at night. Try not to go to stores by yourself at night. Like, just keep it short and simple.
Yeah.
Keep it lean. Don't go anywhere you shouldn't be. Don't trust people
No.
to have your back in situations, because, like, one of the greatest jokes, or one of the segues Chris Rock had said in one of the stand-ups, he was like, he taught his daughters, that the people in this house, they love you, but the people outside that door they don't give a fuck about you.
No,
and
they
he
don't.
said some people in this house don't give a fuck about you either.
Right.
So you gotta move through life like that.
Right. Like my wife used to tell my son all the time when he was coming up and things like that, and I agree with her with that, and I tell people sometime too, everybody don't like kids. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, that when you be seeing kids out here doing all this, that, and the other, everybody don't like kids. But kids think everybody love them.
Yeah, but they don't. 'Cause
But
a lot
It's a
of
different day and
It's a
age. It
different
ain't
day
that
and
Whitney
age, you
Houston.
know.
I believe the children are a future age. In fact, our kids got an anthem for 2023. Y'all heard that song? Fuck them kids.
I haven't
Them
heard
kids.
it, but I'm downloading it.
Spend your money on you. Them kids.
Exactly.
I'm like, ooh, that might not be one of the verses. I might have ad-libbed a little bit. That is the chorus.
I'm about to
That's
say
the
that.
kids.
The idea is there.
Them chillin'.
Right. them
Even
kids.
Amazon came with a hard diss for the kids. Talk about some, don't spend your money on them kids. Save with Amazon. I'm like, dang, did y'all have to come hard like that?
Wow.
You could have just hit us with the save on the back to school clothes with Amazon. They like, don't spend all your money on them kids.
Nope.
Going back to school. I'm like, that y'all.
Spend that money on yourself. You work for it. Them kids ain't got no jobs. They just broke people short at that.
You are silly. But one of the things I was talking about, like for the women who want to fight, is being in a polygamous relationship might help. So Nolan, since you are the married one, I ain't gonna ask Jay because I'm scared of his answer. I'm not as timid for yours. Being a married man, would you ever consider polygamy, or has the conversation ever come up?
No. I am basically, to be honest with you, I'm happy with my relationship and with my wife. You know, everything is not Disneyland, but you know what? When you find somebody like my man Teddy said, you find somebody, man, that you can go down the road, you know, with 50-50, you know what I'm saying? And if somebody got your back, you got their back, you know, and it's important, you know, to know you have somebody like that. Because your family always ain't gonna be there for you.
Exactly.
You need that person, that's gonna be in your corner. She need to know you got her, and you need to know that she got you. Everything don't go smooth all the time, but when you got that relationship, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Especially when you got God in it, man.
And he's not just saying this because she watches our
Yeah,
podcast.
no, that makes
He says this off camera.
yeah, that makes everything just that makes.
But
everything
polygamy
work.
is not a dig on your marriage. It's not hurtful to your marriage. It's just a way of life to me.
Well, you know, the way of life. If that's somebody's way of life, that's their way of life. I wouldn't choose to do that because it's too much of the unknown.
Yeah.
It's
How about you,
too much
Jay?
of the unknown.
I feel like the more the merrier. I feel like most of this whole one wife, one husband thing is probably more from Western civilization. I think over in Africa and a lot of countries over there, like a lot of people have more than one wife. I mean, I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't read the Bible like that. But if I remember correctly, a lot of those guys had a lot of wives, and they had a lot of children, a lot of grandchildren, and it's helped, populate the world. So I think it's Muslims. They're allowed to have more than one wife. I know Akon, rapper, singer, whatever he is, he brags about having how many wives he got.
Michael Blackson, he wanted more than one wife, but his wife gave him, or his fiance at the time, gave him a how many side pieces he can have in a month. Like he
She gave him like a limit?
3 a
A limit,
month or
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's more so, it's a lot of women out here versus men. Like a lot of our men are locked up. And it was in the Bible. And I'm no Bible thumper myself, but we all remember how many wives the different kings in the Bible had.
Right.
But when I ask anybody from church or of church, go ahead.
Well, that was a lot of times back in those things. Those was before the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they was able to do that. Those laws back then were different than the laws that came about when Jesus came.
Mm.
The people that was living up under those laws before Jesus, they talked directly to God. You know what I'm saying? And they had all these wives and and things like that, and handmaids and concubines and things like that.
Right.
But under the new dispensation, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got your wife clean to your husband.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a new law. So things change because we not under those same old laws. If we was under those same old laws back then, man, we all be in big trouble.
So,
That's
speaking of
before
law,
forgiveness
if
and
they
everything.
make it a law now to where you can have more than one wife, then what?
If they're making a law now, whether you can have more than one wife, then your wife should be able to have more than one husband.
Which, that's fair.
That is real fair. Now, for you to say that a woman should have two men is actually not that far-fetched because it's happening. I see it a lot on TikTok. I see it all over social media. And wait, what was the wife, the mother and a baby boy did a threesome and said it was the most.
AJ Johnson. Yeah,
yes. So I mean, it's
yeah.
actually it might be a thing. Like I think polygamy might be a thing. Of the
Well, I'm saying, I'm not condoning it, but if it was a law,
that
then
allowed
then it should be a law that goes both
it
ways.
should
I get
be
what
a
you're
law
saying.
that goes both ways.
Right.
You know, it should be a law that goes both ways.
It's happening. But
Yeah.
I also see men. 3 men on TikTok. I swear they all look like brothers or cousins.
3 men doing what?
They were all
Doing what?
polygamists together. They were in a polygamous
Oh, they were.
relationship. You like, wait, doing
They was
what?
dating
They were
others.
polygamists.
They was
No, they
dating.
were a throuple.
Yeah, that's
They was all a couple.
No, they wasn't
were
a couple. They was a
throuple.
throuple. They was doing their thing, as we like to
Oh,
say.
they was doing that thing.
Right,
Okay.
as we like to say. I feel like you said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you can have 2 wives, it's also quite possible for it to be 2 men. I've seen it, like you said, I've seen it on TikTok. And when I seen some of the pictures, the guys look happy. And my mindset is like, if everybody's happy, everybody comfortable with it, why can't you do it? I mean, you should be allowed to do it. I think, how we are in this country now, where we basically letting people identify as whatever they want to identify with now. I think everybody should be covered. Like I think it should be like a law. I think it's just like sort of, but different, kind of like gay marriage, where it's accepted and it's legal, and people can be covered on people's insurance. People can be
And
covered.
see, that's what they don't want to do.
Because
Because
they add
imagine
more
all
people.
those incomes in one household. And I mean, that's the breakup of it right there. But to me, it's more so of a companionship. And yeah, the finances, they do help. But it's more of a companionship because I'm pro polygamy. I'm pro it. I'm not anti monogamous relationships and marriages, traditional marriages, but I'm pro polygamy just because of this economy. Like you need help.
Well, I'm none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm none of that.
We
You know what I'm saying? I like my
definitely
wife. I
understand.
love
You
my
and
wife. And,
And he might be saying that because she watches.
But no, not even that. Me, my wife, and Jesus.
Right.
And
And that's my
But see,
thing with all that.
but see, just as that's your
But
belief.
everybody don't.
Right.
I respect that.
We feel like, everybody should have. It should be an option.
Yeah.
You're not forced to.
No,
You're not forced to
right,
do it.
right.
But it should be an option.
Right.
If you feel like that, like you want to have 3 people, like you said, in this economy, everybody needs 3 incomes now because everything.
Chicken wings
Right.
cost $50 a pack.
Right. You can't even go
I'm hungry.
to Coney Island without spending $30 for just yourself nowadays. So.
And how many times do women complain about being a single parent in a household where the husband is there or the fiance, boyfriend, whoever? Imagine having another female that's going to help pick the babies up, help get the hair done, help get the school clothes washed and the snacks and the treats made. I mean, imagine it could be. And it's not like a lot of women I know are against it. But most polygamous women that I know, because I know a few, they don't want to enter into your relationship through your husband. They want to enter into your relationship through you. They want to fall in love with you.
Right.
And figure out how to be a great companion with you. And a lot of times you think, oh, you just want to fuck my husband. If that's all they wanted to do, trust me, they wouldn't even have to talk to you. A lot of women can fuck your husband without even trying to, knock on your door.
Exactly.
That's not polygamy.
Yeah, I feel like it is more to it than like a lot of people. First thing they think is like, it's sex. Now, I've been in relationships with women, and then it's also a part where you don't want to stop or inhibit somebody in their sexual desires and things they like to do. Because I've met women who dated both. And who am I to say, okay, you can't just
Not are we together, it's just me.
being you. Like, she might like that. It might be a case that she might like it sometimes, all the time. I've met them all. So who am I to just stop her from enjoying herself just in life in general? Because sex is a big part of it in life in general.
it
We all love sex. We all like having fun.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you got somebody else like that added person, like what's the saying? It takes a village, right? It takes a village to raise kids nowadays. There's so many bigger traps and bigger things going on or whatever that two more sets of eyes watching the kid. It's probably for the better, not for the worse.
I actually watched Sister Wives. I want to say it's on Netflix, but it's on one of those shows, one of those channels. But it's a young man, and he has 4 wives, I believe, and their unity and the way they have their household is amazing. Because it's like him and one of the other wives have jobs. The other 2 wives run a business that they have, and then they have the one wife that just takes care of the kids. Like she sews, she cooks, and they all have 4 homes on the cul-de-sac. And he goes between each home. And they're extremely happy.
What are those? What's that on? What's the program or something?
Yeah, look up Sister Wives.
Sister
I think they
Wives.
have like so many seasons now.
You
If you start in the beginning, he don't have 4 in the beginning.
How many wives you got?
4. But he started off with 1, of course, then
Okay.
2, then 3, and then finally they got the 4th wife. And just seeing how women learn each other on the show, because his 3rd wife was the last wife. So of course she was the new toy. So all the other wives were just a little jealous. So when he got that 4th wife, she got to experience how they felt, because now he had another new toy. So she was just like, it made her relationship with the other 2 wives even stronger, and gave her a position where she can give guidance to the new wife. Like, they may be feeling this and they may be feeling that, so make sure you let them know where you're coming from. And just seeing the sisterhood of these women was actually, I loved it. And the kids, not all the kids are polygamous. They have like a few of them that just want one husband, one wife, however that goes.
Right.
But some of the kids are like, hey, this is it, this is life. I love my sisters and brothers.
If you get, I mean, when you get, it's good for a TV show. I mean, it really is. But
No, they in Vegas.
But you know what?
Vegas exceptional or
might be.
stuff like
Well,
that.
they might be in Alaska or whatever like that. But before he got 4 wives, periods of time can happen anytime.
Yeah,
And that guy not gonna be thinking of love making on his mind,
yeah.
because he gonna be in whirlwind. It's not gonna be on call.
It is stressful.
It ain't gonna be caught on camera.
It's stressful when you got to deal with
It
the
ain't gonna be
different
caught on
attitudes.
camera.
Because they show that on the show too. They show the different attitudes. They show when the women aren't getting along with him, with each other. They show, it's like almost like them just pouring out themselves, and they're so
Now,
selfless.
that's the show they should put on.
They're selfless because the new wife that he married had 2 children prior.
Okay.
So he had to actually physically marry her. So he divorced his first wife, and she agreed to it so that he can marry his 4th wife and adopt her children. Selfless. I love that whole situation.
That's
But
a
imagine if
sacrifice.
you were going through the
It
UAW
is.
strike that we're going through right now,
Right.
and you didn't have to worry because it was 4 other incomes at home still.
Definitely.
That would be amazing.
Right. Because
It would seem like it would be amazing, but you still got all the personalities. You got all the combustion.
I got
You can
6
all
personalities by
that
myself.
I'm gonna
Well,
say
hey,
most
we
of
all
them
do.
got a plethora of personalities.
Yeah,
anyway.
we all
I
have
know.
a million.
I
Exactly.
know.
So
I know.
you learn to multitask. You learn to problem
That's
solve.
tough, though,
You
man.
learn to communicate.
You
Relationships
don't
aren't
bite off
easy.
more than you can chew.
Right,
You
relationships
just don't
not
bite off
easy
more than
anyway.
you can chew. And it's not a jail sentence. They're
Oh.
all free to leave whenever they're
Anytime they
ready.
want to. Right.
That's too much investment. You got heartstrings being pulled. You got emotions. You got all this kind of stuff. She getting more than I'm getting, doing it, this, that. My kids is just good as your kids. So now we all this kind of, and what about the kids we got together? No, we got a kid with him too. I got a kid with him too. I got a kid.
But
It's
just
a
like
mess,
the
man. That's
women
a-
have issues, the other women are there. Because a lot of people in relationships, they look for outsiders.
That's only a lot of
You don't have to
confusion.
really look outside of your marriage. You just have to look outside of you and him and go talk to one of the other wives. It's a friendship.
Right.
That sounds like a lot of confusion, Jay, and Simone, for real. That sounds like a lot of confusion.
So we gonna mark Nolan off as no.
I'm gonna say no.
Definition no.
I'm gonna say no.
But
You don't care if
you
they
s-
on strike.
Right. You
don't-
say no
don't
to
just
polygamy.
be
We
poor.
say yes to the extra income.
Well,
whatever.
well, yeah,
So the
yeah.
vote is all with 2 to 1.
Yeah, 2 to 1,
We
yeah.
want the extra income. We
Yeah.
want the stability.
Yeah.
I want help with my children. I like to wash and not fold. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. I like to cook and not have to clean up the kitchen afterwards. That's your job, boo.
Yeah, yeah. Give me Give me my strong woman that I've been with for a while and that I love. And if she said, well, you know what, I ain't like this, kick me to the curb, I might come look you up.
I knew it. I knew
I
it was
But for
hidden.
right now,
I knew it was hidden deep
no, it's not
down
here, but I'm just
inside.
saying.
Right
For
there,
right
whatever.
now,
No, but look, I saw
with
a
that.
TikTok, right?
I can't roll
And the
with it.
girls was like, the guy came in and he was like, "Ooh, I had a long day," and he had that look in his eyes, like, "Y'all know I need y'all to get it up out of me." And they like trying to see who turn it was to go satisfy
that's
him.
messed
They're
up.
like,
Yo,
See,
exactly.
now that's messed up. See, that's crazy.
and a lot of women are not as sexual, and they actually wouldn't mind passing it off to somebody else. Like, tag you, it's your turn this week.
I've literally dated a woman who was like, I could care less if you had a sister wife or a side chick
See,
or whatever.
A lot of women
that
have
was
them, they
only
just don't
for-
know them.
Just only just for sex or whatever.
Right.
She's like, you could bring me to the barbecue and she'd just be our friend. I was shocked at first.
And why y'all not together?
Well,
Crazy.
Nah.
That's the one that got away.
Definitely
Well,
wasn't. She had other issues. Or
I guess there's a lot of women out there say, well, we do what we gonna do, and you go back home to your wife.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That happens. You know
That cheating part, I can't get
Yeah,
with.
but see,
Like me,
that's-
I'm not gonna sleep with nobody's
right,
fiance,
and
nobody's
that's what I'm-
husband,
see,
nobody
yep.
that's in a committed relationship with somebody at home, unless it's on some polygamy type
But if
stuff.
everybody says it's okay, then it's okay. See, that's
No,
what-
no, it ain't no
It's
everything.
all cheating.
I don't have polygamous hookups. Like, I don't even believe polygamous hookups is cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if I'm not dating your
Okay.
wife to be in a relationship with you, it's cheating to me.
Right, right.
Definitely. I mean, you got to think about it just like y'all said. Some of these women in those polygamous relationships and they don't know. Like, think about it. Like the auto plants or whatever that we got in Michigan or whatever.
Yeah.
The biggest thing everybody say, this is my work wife, this is my work husband, this is my side P, this is my this is my that or whatever.
Now wait, it'd be messed up if all three of them were. Get separate jobs. Don't all work at the same
Well,
plant.
yeah,
Because
that's
when
it,
y'all
yeah.
go on strike, guess
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
All threes of y'all is about to be homeless.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
getting
Why
money.
are they on strike?
They on strike right now, whatever. I know people seen it in the news, the big three. This is like the first time I actually think they all decided to go on strike together, you know, as
a three.
and
Three.
strategically.
I'm proud of the unity.
That's
Right,
three.
strategically
That's three.
planned it out or whatever. Like they even putting certain plants on strike and other plants not on strike because they want to disrupt, I guess, the auto parts.
All the parts
the
is the
line
small
or whatever.
business, small
Right,
parts,
so
all
they,
the parts.
So they planned a big game, and I don't know if people know. They asking for like instead of a 40-hour work week, they want a 32-hour work week, and they want a 40% increase
They want
in
to
their
get paid
pay, and
for
they want to
40.
get rid of their two-tier system, which I fully understand because, as we said, like if I'm working on the line next to you, I feel like we should be all up under the same contract, the same tier, the same pay. At the end of the rainbow, I should get to where you at, not you making $38, $40 an hour, and my top out pay might be $32 an hour. We're doing the same job. So
Well,
we all
you've
should
been
get
there,
paid.
but you've been
Yeah,
there.
eventually,
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
every job has a top pay. So
Yeah,
everybody in the plant should be like, okay, at the end of the rainbow, we're all gonna get paid the same amount.
They
of
want
money.
32 hours, but want to get paid for 40.
Which, I mean, I understand. Like, the reason they say that is because it's a back-breaking job.
Okay, well, they want just
It's a back-breaking job,
10
but
hours for 4 days.
another thing they gotta
Okay.
understand about the economy, people not just out there buying cars like they used to.
Yeah,
Like, people not just dropping cars every income tax season like they used to.
And when you think about that, the average car price now is somewhere about $40,000-$50,000 for a brand new car, which puts you at a car note of about $8,000 to $1,000.
When you
I
can
heard-
honestly go get that same car 3 years used and pay $5,000 to $6,000. Why?
I heard the average car note is around $785. Just an average.
That's the average.
And
That's
to
just
live
a
in
regular car.
Detroit,
Yeah, that's not
add
insurance.
insurance to that. Add insurance to that,
to
living
that.
in Detroit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because my insurance is, I don't want to talk about it.
Right, exactly. Insurance in Detroit, like the price. And
Yeah,
then-
it's definitely
And then,
crazy.
like, we're in a stranglehold in this area because we don't have, like, mass transit like other places.
We don't.
So we dependent, like, you can't really live in Detroit
No.
without having a car. Like, other
Exactly.
cities like New York, Chicago, some of these other places, they got trains and all this other stuff.
And you know what we can't?
But here, we can't.
Why
You know
can't
what we can't?
Why can't we?
Now, I got an inside scoop on this because my uncle worked for the, he done a few things before he passed. It's more traffic up under this city than it is on top. You cannot put a subway down there. You cannot put nothing
What's
down
going on
there.
down there?
It's salt, it's construction, they load up submarines at that dock. They doing all kind of stuff down there. Did you see that smoke be coming up from downtown for them thing?
Yeah.
It's something going on down there.
But
Yeah.
part of that, I believe, is probably the whole infrastructure of the big three, because we automotive, so they didn't want mass
They get,
transportation.
what about the jails? They transferred the prisoners underground.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we said at the last segment that the underground of the city, man, is
The infrastructure
It's
is not
wide
there for
open,
us
you
to
know,
have
right.
like subways and
It's super
Things
big.
Just
like
think,
New York.
think of the salt mines. We got all this salt and all this kind of stuff. They gotta move it around somewhere. Then you got the water down there. They're bringing in freight. They moving stuff on. They moving stuff off.
And probably bringing drugs and illegals. I don't trust
You
Detroit.
never know.
Actually, I did read about, like, back in the day, or maybe it is now, that they used to, it was like a tunnel or subway or something that used to go back and forth between
Yeah.
Canada and,
Yeah.
the Purple Gang. Everybody know the Purple Gang
Yeah.
from Detroit. They used to bring booze, prohibition, and all that
Then you
stuff.
do got the
through
tunnel.
there.
Go
Exactly.
to
So, yeah, I definitely get why they won't do it down there. But at the end of the day,
do y'all think they're gonna get what they asking for?
I think they're gonna be somewhere in the middle. I think they're gonna get more than they're asking for. I think the final tally would be they'll be doing a 40-hour work week. I think they'll get a raise of about 20-25%. UAW was kind of just like the Teamsters, which got UPS the money that they wanted. UPS, I think they top out at about $50 an hour, which I think is well deserved with this economy, this inflation. Like we said, let me just talk to the camera right quick. Any women that want to be poly or have a tryout with me, I'm here, I'm available, and I'm single because I don't want to pay all these bills by myself. At the end of the day,
I'm with him. I'll have what he's having.
right? Because when you think about it, it makes so much sense. If you're a couple, if you're a triad, I think that's what they call it. If you're a triad, throuple, and let's just say we all make it $75,000 a year. That's $225.
Stress free.
We can go get us about a $500,000 house or whatever. A house note about $3,000. We splitting that 3 ways. That's $1,000 out of everybody's pocket. We got brand new cars. We can switch the cars out. I'll take the old car. Y'all can have the new cars. I don't care. You can have a Benz. You can have a Range Rover. Give me a Buick. I don't give a goddamn whatever. Because if I need a good car, I just borrow one of yours. So
Exactly.
when you think about it, it really works. And shit, like we said, in this economy, it's a crazy world we're living in right now. Because everybody wants more money, because I don't even think they want more money. They need more money to just survive right now. You need more money. You need more people with you to help you, because remember back in the day, I know everybody remembers this, $100,000, that's the benchmark. Oh, I'll make $100,000. Life is good as easy. Let me tell you, I'm still broke.
Now you need a million.
Six
You
figures.
need a
I'm
full
still
million.
broke or whatever. That's definitely not enough. And 3 incomes or whatever.
It'll be amazing.
Right.
As a comedian, I joke about people not knowing how to be broke no more. It was like after COVID, everybody just forgot how to be broke, and it's like they broken is broke. It's like they want to try to con and scheme their way around things instead of getting a job. I'm like, how so many people in places hiring and so many people broke?
Yeah, and it's the economy. The economy it ain't bad.
It ain't good.
But I'm just saying it ain't like we're in no depression or nothing like that.
We close.
I feel it's coming.
I feel like
I feel it's
we got
coming
one
too.
foot on
I
the
feel it's
banana
coming
peel
too.
and the other foot on depression.
I feel that too.
The great one.
The right.
The greatest one.
I feel that
This about
too.
to be the greatest depression.
Right.
But a lot of things led up to that, like it always do. And then we on the outside, waiting to see when the next shoe gonna drop. Well, that shoe will drop where it wanna drop. I'm on. Hey, give me Jesus.
Y'all
And I'm
remember
good.
when everybody was wondering why they don't just print money and give it to us?
No.
And then they did it.
And then
They
they
did
did.
it. They did it during COVID, and they called them stimuluses, and they did all the extra stuff. And now it's rumors that our money ain't worth nothing nowhere else, because we can just print it and give it to people. That's why they didn't do it,
And we
because it
owe
had
other
value when it wasn't so much
We
of
owe other
it.
people so much money too.
But we just giving everybody here stimulus checks for children.
Right, just because you got a kid, a stimulus, this and that. When you think about it, like, it's a lot of countries, like I think Russia, China, some of the African nations or whatever, they devaluing the dollar right now, right? At this point, they moving away from the dollar and moving to their own currency, because the dollar isn't as strong as it used to be.
And it's because so much of it was circulating. And that's what y'all fail to realize. All them Amazon packages y'all was getting from China, y'all were devaluing our money. But I'm not gonna say nothing because that may or may not be 100% true. But it's how I feel about the situation. Y'all devalued our money when y'all just spent it recklessly because we got it in abundance over those years during COVID.
Well, let's just hope that, with the strike and everything like that, that they get what they deserve. They get a fair, a fair settlement and all that kind of stuff. And then, everybody can move on from
My
that.
car is about to cost 60, 80.
Well, speaking of moving on, our roving reporter Jay,
Right.
got,
Listen to me.
My favorite part of the
coming
show
up with what do you have for us, Jay?
was Heard in the D.
Heard in the D. We're definitely talking about
That new food
the
court.
food courts in Detroit.
I'm not getting excited about food.
Actually, the whole food scene in Detroit or whatever, because if you grew up in Detroit, we basically for a long time just existed on Coney Island.
Yep.
But now it's so many different places or whatever. We touched on it last
Coney
week.
Island's still the staple.
Coney Island is
Food
stable.
known for it.
It's
Fago
known-
and Better Made.
It's the late night snack, but as a culture of Detroit food or whatever, we're improving and
White
we
Castle,
expanding. White Castle, that's really old school.
Yes,
I
it
can't
is.
wait for somebody to take me on the Valentine's Day there, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about what we came to talk about.
Well, we talking about Detroit, what you want to eat, which is the food hall. I actually went there last week, actually after the show, and I was surprised and I was amazed by the selection. It was a lot of different places, a lot of different tastes, and it's something that's needed in the city or whatever, and I appreciate it. The differences, because it was like a hibachi place. They had a dessert place. They had
I can't wait to go
wings.
try the taco place. I saw somebody do a review and they had some barista tacos.
Yeah, and anybody know what those barista tacos where you dip them in the
In
sauce?
the battery acid
wow.
or in the engine oil, whatever the lady on TikTok called it.
It's
I want the tacos with the engine oil.
You had those, Jay?
With the engine, yeah, I had those tacos.
How was they? Because I'm going to get something to
Those tacos
annoy.
were-
Follow me on social media for my review, or just watch this podcast. Because I'm gonna have it on the next one. I'm gonna have my pops put it
Because
on there.
when you taste those tacos, you're like, oh, this taco is good. But when you dip it in the sauce or whatever, it actually
And the
changes
engine
whole
oil,
flavor.
I heard the engine oil is the truth.
It changes like the whole flavor, the
Take
whole
it over,
texture.
take it over the top.
Definitely. If you like tacos or Mexican food,
No,
you got
Dr.
it.
No, let's go get us some of that.
Well,
engine
you know,
oil.
I
gotta
you know,
try that.
I gotta say, I'm trying to get myself together. I'm watching somebody else's weight right now.
Me
You
too.
know,
Me too.
You watching what they wait for like when it's over with. But definitely try this place out. There's a bunch of other places. It's another place y'all probably heard of. It's called Detroit 75. They opened a new location. Out in Troy is housed in like where Sears Automotive used to be.
Is that the place Keith Lee went?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Keith Lee went there, whatever. He did a great review. I don't know if a lot of people know who Keith Lee is. He's like one of the big food TikTokers in the world.
Everybody gotta know Keith Lee.
Right? You gotta know Keith Lee.
where's it again, Jay?
I spent $75 on this taco. I love him. He's so positive.
He's so funny, awkward, positive, God-fearing guy. Loves
And
his
he's from
family.
Detroit.
From Detroit. A lot of people didn't know he was from Detroit because he's based in Vegas now, but he's actually from the D. Him and his brother.
And he was just happy to be home.
And it was
He
like
was here recently,
yeah,
right?
yeah, he just was here this weekend, and it's great to see somebody from somewhere else, from Detroit, that actually made it. That
And
comes
come back and
show
show.
us
Because
some love.
Eminem, what did you do?
Yeah.
He in the suburbs.
Do a Coney Island review. Go to what you want to eat and do a review.
Kid Rock does.
Because we all watched 8 Mile.
Kid
We
Rock,
watched
same
it.
way.
Exactly.
Kid Rock too, man.
We want more than Mom Spaghetti.
Kid Rock wasn't never a real Detroiter. if
Nah,
you ask
Kid
me.
Rock
He
is-
just used us.
He from
He
Mount
used
Clemens.
us to
Yeah.
follow him because he knew that all you gotta do is say that D,
From the D.
and you gonna
That's
get
it.
us because
That's it.
we support our own. That's what I love about Detroit.
Yeah.
That's what I will always love about Detroit.
I'm old school.
We support our own. I don't care where I go in the world. Just say I'm from
Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm old school.
Any other Detroiter gonna come like ski. That's how they come. Like I done put out the like I done threw the hat. Like I threw the hat. They come with chairs and stuff. I be like, ain't no smoke. We just about
We
to
just
eat.
eat,
We just about to eat.
The only artists, I'm old school, the only artists that get that love that's from outside of Detroit limits, and they get that love from me, is Bob Seger. I don't know if you ever heard of Bob Seger, but
Definitely heard about
you
it.
know, Bob Seger.
I heard of
like
him,
a rock.
but not in a long time.
You know, yeah, he was a big.
But it's cool.
Big
You can
time.
bring we gonna keep people alive on this show.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Bring up Bob
We're
Seger
gonna bring up everybody from Detroit.
Bob Seger, yeah.
But
because we love the D.
Greatest.
right, the biggest thing that I take away from Detroit 75,
Where's it again, Jay?
it's one on 4th Street. It's a food truck, and
Okay.
there's one out there in Oakland Mall where the old Sears part. But one of the biggest things that I like about them or whatever, they're really family orientated. They close pretty early, and they give their workers, I think, maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Good.
Yeah, they give their workers off because they want their workers to be able to spend time with their family.
See, we won't be talking about them and UAW and striking
Exactly.
because they get treated right.
They take care of their employees, which is like a super big thing.
And it shows, like when employees are taken care of and you go to that establishment,
Right.
you get a whole different experience. They're much more polite and everything. Because I know when I owned my business, I didn't treat my workers right. So when you got there, they had attitude.
Right, and one of the big things the owner said, he tries to pay his employees a competitive wage
Yeah.
to be able to, have a family and take care of
For
themselves.
sure, for sure.
Because, like we said with the UAW, a lot of companies and corporations, the money flows at the top and not at the
Yeah,
bottom.
not at the bottom.
I think if you're a successful business and everybody's making money, we all should make money. We
Yeah.
all should be able to take care of ourselves.
That's that
I
they
agree.
call that back in the day the voodoo economics, where it trickles down. No, it don't trickle down.
Nobody-
You gotta make it happen. You know, you gotta
That
make
makes
it
sense.
happen, man.
That definitely
Trickle it
makes
down.
sense.
Definitely.
Trickle it down.
And another part of this is, we spotlighting African American owned business, but
Yeah.
we love everybody.
We
So
do, yeah.
I know a guy personally, whatever. I've been to his restaurant like numerous times. He's out in the suburbs. This guy by the name of RJ's Corned Beef. It's
Yeah.
on Gratiot in Clinton Township. Is giving old school, if y'all know what I'm saying, because we all old school, whatever. We remember the fofos and
Yeah.
the milks and like when you get the corned beef sandwiches,
That's
and you're
right,
like, oh
yeah.
shit, I can't eat all this because it's so much corned beef. So I wanted to shout him out because I feel like, as we trickle into the suburbs or whatever, we need to support each other in the suburbs. And I post them on my page. Every time I go there or whatever, I show his food because it's great food and it brings me back to my
That's
community.
straight
Because I remember as a kid, I used to wait till every other Friday with my daddy. Like,
That's
we go to
straight.
Fofo
Right.
and get that big ass corned beef, and it was like 2 meals.
That's right.
Eat half of it,
That's
and then
right.
I'm gonna say the rest of it for later.
That's right.
And
That's
you
right.
about to say something?
But that's foundation of the African Americans come to the foundation of the old school with the neighborhoods, man. Like you had Dotsonetta, Shrimps, and
That was one of my favorite, and they was open till like 2 in the morning.
Them Shrimps.
Oh,
Molly
my
Molly.
mama used to send me there. My mama used to send me there.
Yep.
And one thing I can say about Jay, if he recommended the spot, 10 times out of 10 you won't get robbed.
Exactly.
Because he done already pulled up in his BMW and his Rolls Royce,
Right.
and he made it out there safe. So any
Right.
place he recommends, I recommend if you're visiting Detroit, if you live in Detroit, if you're thinking about coming to Detroit, he gonna give you the best,
I'm gonna send you to the
safest spot.
safest place.
Not me. I'm gonna give you the spots where the food is amazing,
Right.
But you might get shot.
but you might get shot. It's gonna be worth it.
Hey.
You gonna be in the hospital eating some of the best food you ever had before in your life, and I put that on everything. I do. I put that on everything.
That's that EPMD. Don't get too close because you might get shot.
But the food gonna be good.
Right.
Now Jay, he gonna recommend some safe and good food
Safe,
spots.
good
But
food.
me, I'm gonna recommend the food worth dying for. Cause you might just do that to go to.
Right.
I'm on Davidson with it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on
Davidson,
Joy Road
yeah,
with it.
Right. You all the way on Finkel.
I'm in the hood.
Yeah, you
'Cause,
are the
I
hood.
mean, I love food. So if I got to go, strapped, I'm gonna go get my food.
You in Detroit.
Yes.
Right.
See, Jay gonna give you Detroit. I'm gonna give you the D. Okay, I'm gonna give you restaurants straight
The
in.
dirty D.
The D.
Right.
Okay.
The dirty D.
I'm gonna give you downtown Detroit. I'm gonna give you Easter Market, Courtown, all that stuff.
Jay, you just jogged my memory. Downtown Detroit this Friday. Cat Williams.
Definitely.
Y'all gotta show up and show out for Cat Williams, because I don't think he done been back out since he got beat up by that little kid. He might, I don't know, I might be wrong. He might have been here once after
After he got
that,
beat up by
but I
that
definitely want y'all to show him our love and support. We gotta go holler at Cat Williams. The tickets are really reasonable. I think I paid $125 for mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go by myself because it's enough of that buying tickets for other people. Yeah, I'm gonna just go by myself because nobody else wanted to spend $125 and I didn't want to sit in the nosebleeds with them.
I mean, we
So
so
yeah, I'm gonna go
bad.
by myself.
We were so bad at one time, we was calling us the dirty glove.
Definitely.
Remember?
And we guarantee
Came a long
Cat
way.
Williams' safety this time. He will not be slapped
Yeah.
by anybody at Burst Warehouse.
We ain't
He
gotta worry
got
about
slapped
you.
here?
Yes.
Y'all better not slap him.
Don't nobody slap.
Y'all
Cat
losers.
Williams.
You a loser if you
Don't
slap
slap
somebody
Cat
that
Williams.
little.
Pimp down.
Everybody protect Cat Williams.
Pimp
he's
down.
He's a Detroit favorite.
He's a legend.
Exactly.
He is a legend.
Show
And the
him
fact
a
that
lot of
he's
love.
still coming back, that's admirable. And I
That's
love you for that,
admirable.
Cat Williams. I will be there. I cannot wait to laugh like I ain't never laughed
Exactly.
before.
But I guarantee you, he'll never crack a joke about somebody cowboy boots again.
Oh man.
Never.
That takes us out.
That takes us out.
You don't remember that?
Okay, so with everything going on downtown, I am happy that we were not fully affected by the MGM hack like Vegas was. So while they're downtown looking at Cat Williams this weekend, can we still go to MGM as usual?
We can definitely go to MGM as usual. Like the MGM hack was mostly based out in Vegas. MGM probably maybe got like 10 to 15 properties out there that's all interconnected with each other. It's all the same system. I guess what the hackers' plan was, like they attempted to attack Caesars. Caesars properties decided to pay so they wouldn't get shut down, but MGM refused to pay.
Okay.
I guess at first, like Nolan, did you say they did pay or they didn't?
Well, yeah, they paid. They refused at first,
right.
but then I think they said they put up $15 million to get everything back online and to secure that the people with the credit cards
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. That opened up to get them back on, moving again.
Right.
Because the longer they were down, the more money they was going to be losing,
Right.
and the more security they was going to
When
lose.
you think about all those properties in Vegas and how much money
Right.
moves around, how many people's information is really in their
It's in
database.
their database.
So it's huge. And then when you think about it, at the end of the day, you can stop so much, but you only can stop so much. So if you got hackers coming in and taking people's social security numbers, their credit cards, their home addresses, like literally like PIN numbers, literally when you checking in the hotels in Vegas and you getting everything.
Right.
When you getting people getting comps, people are getting credit lines, people are getting everything. So if you get hackers that take that and take it to the dark web, I'm a victim of it myself. I had somebody just steal my identity. It's not just a one-time crime. It's a lifelong crime. I fight this almost every single day. So when you think about it, you got real life hackers, not just like these regular Detroit bum ass scammers that we normally used to.
No.
We talking about people like over in Russia, China, and places this is their business.
That's
So-
cybersecurity, bro.
Right. So this is not like a couple $100,000. This is $1 trillion worth of information that these people are getting. That they can duplicate your identity. They can open up accounts for you. They can really screw over people's lives. And you got to remember, people that go to Vegas, you're not broke. People that go to Vegas, they got a lot of money and they got a lot to lose. So you can open up somebody's account, say like one person, you might be able to just get $100,000, $1 million just off one person. When you think about it, you're taking somebody's whole database, 200,000-300,000 worth of people. This is like the economy of small countries that they can steal. So
They've definitely stepped their game up, because I don't know if it was a thing or if it was just something that you saw on Grey's Anatomy and these other TV shows, but they show a lot where hackers hack the hospital. And there's nothing for them to gain other than the hospital paying them to release the hospital.
Right.
So now in this situation or in this scenario, it's a gain either way. Either you pay me and I gain off the money that you paid me, or you don't pay me and I have all these people's personal information at my disposal. So the hackers, to me, they've just upped their game. So now it's what's next?
Right.
What they gonna do next?
I'm gonna say 30, but give me 15.
It was a money
We
thing.
good.
They just wanted the
we
money.
Good.
yeah.
We good. You think you say if I say 30, get 15, you gonna give me? I'm gonna take it.
They're gonna come back for that other 15. I hope they
But
don't.
they might not, because
But I mean,
they
when you
got
give
the
up so
15 million.
easily.
Well, they got the money. They
But
got money out of
anytime,
it.
I think I watch too much TV. Because anytime you watch them shows, they always say don't pay the ransom,
see-
because then they gonna want more. It's like don't pay the blackmailer because they gonna blackmail you more.
Well, see, once they got that 15 million, once they got that 15 million, they like, we got the money. We got more than we thought we was gonna get out of them anyway. So ain't no need going back.
Imagine how much more they would have gotten on the
But see,
blackmail.
now you got people in position, governments and everything else working in there too, trying to find out who the hackers are. Now you got somebody on your trail. You got someone on your trail now. So
Yeah.
the
And the
pay-
scary part is a lot of
Yeah,
these
you
other
got on the
countries,
trail.
they make the web or the internet things that we use. They make those things.
Right. When you think
Yeah,
about
they do.
you think about the internet with China, how like I don't know if y'all remember at one point or whatever, the United States was like they was gonna close down TikTok because it's from China or whatever, and they felt like the Chinese, government or whatever was just like stealing our information from our TikTok accounts. So when you got people like that, like even if you pay, it's a chance they can come double back.
Well, they said Russia was hacking the election.
Russia did hack the
They
election.
hacked- that's what I'm talking about.
They hacked Facebook. They kind of slanted the whole idea. Like, I mean, if you really want to be honest, they stole the election from Hillary.
Yeah,
going
exactly.
into the final week or whatever, Hillary was killing Donald Trump.
They was.
And then when they released the information or whatever, it swayed the public's opinion. And people, we are victims to social media. Social
We are
media-
victims.
No, we are victims to the internet, period. Like,
Yes.
you watch all of those again with me and Too Much TV. The Terminator, we all thought that the monsters was going to be the robots coming back to kill us. No, it's everything that we allow the robots and the internet access to that's coming back to bite us. It's not actual computers getting up shooting us like we thought it would be because of Terminator. No, it's they're using these computers and they're weaponizing them against us.
Yes,
Okay,
way.
peep game. Years ago, Dave, you might remember this. I don't know, but
He's not on the podcast.
Well, yeah, he's on the podcast,
We're
but
talking to the camera.
we'll talk to our wonderful producer
Dave
Dave,
out there in the
producer
audience
out there in the
somewhere.
audience, but
Right.
man, this 14-year-old boy hacked the Mint. He hacked the Mint.
Why couldn't none of my kids?
He hacked.
No, I'm just playing.
He hacked the
I want
Mint.
my kids.
He hacked the Mint. They arrested him, and he probably in his 30s, probably 30. He probably 30s, almost 40s, but he worked. You know, he worked for
Who?
the government.
The government.
He hacked the Mint. He works for the government. Ain't no jail. This guy, 14-year-old hacked the Mint. Oh, we need you, son.
I really do wonder what is our government doing? Because if you go to any other country, the smartest and the best work for the country.
Yes.
What are y'all doing with our smartest and our best? Why wasn't that 14-year-old already? Was he from the U.S.?
Why
Yeah,
wasn't he
she was
already
in
on
Why
the
wasn't
payroll?
he already on the payroll?
Because
I
they-
know y'all know his test scores.
Well-
He been in school. I need y'all to be proactive and not retroactive.
But they
He
did
probably
not-
could have came up with some software that was unhackable for MGM.
But they didn't know he
Facts.
was. He probably still doing that.
Right, and we need to get
We
those.
have some of
Yeah.
the best hackers
The
in the
greatest-
world here
greatest
in
minds.
the United States.
Definitely.
The greatest minds.
Y'all better
Scientists.
start using them.
We got scientists. Look at these kids now. Wow. These kids, man, on these computers and
When
stuff
you-
like that.
Like the way technology
me.
is set up right now is for the youth. Like most of the time when I grab my iPhones or whatever, I don't get the full capabilities out of it. I can hand my iPhone to my 15-year-old daughter right now, and she'll show me some shit that would just stuff that will blow my mind. Like the way she can just tell me, you can look at
That's
this,
what
you
I'm
can
talking
see this, you can see that. It's just so far above and beyond anything I've ever seen or ever even thought of. And this generation, they grew up with computers
Right.
and phones. Like
Right.
we grew up, we like, oh wow, like flip phones and big digital phones and all this other stuff. This generation, they grew up, they're 4 years old, they can work a phone better than a 34-year-old because this is all they know.
Hey Jay, I had some stuff going on yesterday that I was just thinking about. I was just sitting down and just thinking about. My grandmother used to tell me, back in the day, we used to walk 10 miles to school in the wintertime and this, that, and the other, and the bread was 5 cents a loaf and all this kind of stuff, and and I was like, really? You gotta be kidding me. Why you walking up 10 miles to school? I caught the bus to school, right? Nowadays, in this dispensation, this is gonna be going on. Kids gonna be telling their kids, "Ooh man, I used to take the Uber. I used to take the Uber.
I used to have to
I
wait
used to
for
take the
hours for them to find me a
doggone
drive.
lift. Give me a doggone lift." And them kids gonna be like, "I just get in my flying car and just go where I'm going."
Exactly, because technology is moving
It's
so
moving
fast.
so fast.
And it's just moving faster as we go. Like the things that we look back on, like cassettes. I mean, the fact that CDs are so obsolete right now. You can literally talk to somebody and say, "What's a CD?" When CDs came out in our time, we was like, "This is the greatest invention in the history of time."
The only reason why tapes are still popular is because they make fun of them.
Well, tape is the best thing smoking, man. Tape is,
They be having a pencil making
man,
fun of
shoot,
them.
tape is the best thing smoking. Microwaves.
Right.
You still have it. I'm gonna warm this.
Right.
Now they be putting them in the air fryer.
Right.
Yeah,
Air
the air
fryers.
fryer.
No
Well, under
offense.
this light.
Whoever invented air fryers, Nobel Peace Prize. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing they ever came up with. Like it reaches.
Because with no grease, your food can be crunchy.
Like I can eat like actually healthier
Yeah.
with the air fryer, whatever, compared to like grease and all this other stuff. I've made so much stuff in there that it amazes me.
I don't own an air fryer, but I'm about to buy a house
Oh,
next
have
year,
to
and I'm
be
gonna have a
air
house
fryer.
warming because I never had one of those
You have
either.
to- I'll buy your
So
air
at my
fryer.
house
You have
warming,
to. I will
y'all will see the air fryer that
I
Jay
will
gave
buy
me.
an
air
If
fryer.
y'all don't see it, then trust me, I'm gonna be on the show like
Jay, you got to put a book.
side-eyeing him.
I will buy the air fryer.
You got to put a book out, Jay, because I don't gotta use mine.
I gotta buy a bigger house because my parents are getting older, so you know I don't want to put my father in a home. I'm gonna have a guest house in the back for him with a big booty,
Big booty nurse. Yeah.
care provider taking
Right,
care
care
of him,
provider.
and somebody from what is it? Who got the men for my mother, my stepmother?
I don't know. I think they close all them.
I'm gonna have somebody from Watts, all
Right.
greased up to take care of my
dude from Watts.
stepmother.
What was the dude from Watts back in the day? He's still around.
TikTok, what's his name? What's their
I can't
different
remember his
name?
name. It was the dude from Watts.
Strippers. Watts is a Detroit strip club that we used to have. I don't know where the new
Okay, yeah, I
location
know
is. I
that.
know the old one burned down.
Yeah, they burned it down, but that
Man,
guy's still
shit.
around.
Watch Mozambique.
Yes.
Oh,
60
yeah.
years.
I used to
remember
go
that.
there.
Yeah, watch
Used to go to-
Mozambique. Yeah, I remember watch Mozambique.
I had my favorite
Yeah,
strippers.
man.
Little note, I used to go to watch Mozambique or whatever, and I would sit outside and
Yeah,
wait for the
watch
horny ladies to come
Mozambique.
outside.
And I used to be on my way outside.
You know,
Okay.
watch Mozambique was something with the scene.
Right, I would go outside like, yeah. They
Baby
ready.
boy.
But I had strippers that had wanted me, so you know, I ain't mess with none of them. But you know,
I used to wait for the girls.
I was a hot commodity at 19, 20, 21.
I used to wait for the girls to roll the rims in and left by themselves.
Oh,
They was trying. They was out there fishing. They was shopping.
That's about that my boy Bob Daniels used to say, baby, I bet you was something before electricity.
So, baby, I bet you was something before.
Before electricity. The greatest invention ever made, man. They probably can't find the guy. The guy who came up invented DNA. You know they can't find him.
Yeah, that DNA dude out of business.
You know,
Dr. No is a comedian that don't go on stages.
They
He
can't
is
find him.
hilarious.
That
So,
DNA
the guy
dude
made
done
him
dimed
DNA.
everybody
I think
out.
God did it. I think God did it.
Right.
They can't find
That
him.
DNA dude, he out of business. Everybody hating him right now.
Yeah, he can't be
Like,
found.
I
he
know
done
at least
connected so
half the
many-
women on Jerry Springer, not Maury
Right.
Provich.
Yeah,
Half of them
like,
on Maury
that's-
Provich hate him.
Make a living off of that.
He done connected so many families together that didn't want to be connected. It's
Man,
terrible.
your family tree. You know, a family tree.
Right, those family trees, some of them on Maury, they go straight.
More, yeah,
It's no branches.
It's no branches.
They just going straight up. Like,
Right.
that's my cousin and my sister and my other cousin.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
It's
man.
a little crazy. But I had fun, y'all. Today was a great show. If we can leave, you know, our viewers with one thing, what you got for them, Dr. No? Okay, we're going to have to leave y'all with three things.
Yeah,
Definitely three things.
what I will leave the viewers with, man, is just, you know, love yourself, love your family, and you know, when you put your mind and want to do something, just do it. I'm always not follow those words myself. I'm trying to do something new after my retirement, and hey, man, this right here is a beautiful thing for me, and I just thank the people that's I'm here with, and it's a new chapter for me, and I'm loving it.
What you got for
Well,
us?
for me, first of all, go to RJ's Corned Beef in Clinton Township on Gratiot. Love that guy, love that place.
You won't get robbed?
I'm going.
You won't get robbed. You'll be safe leaving out of there. Second of all, polygamy is a real thing. We love it, we appreciate it, and adhere to it.
Why do he look like a straight polygamous commercial? Now, before I say my one thing, I want y'all to know that we are very grateful for our sponsors. We are actively looking for more sponsors. So if you have a small business, an upcoming business, reach out to us. We would love to promote you on this show, okay? We would love to make sure that our viewers know what you have to offer, especially if you are parked right here in Detroit. We want to support you. We want to show you some love. So make sure you reach out to us. The information will be available after the show, so to let us know how we can help promote your business and get you going. Now, another thing, my last thing that I want to close with.
And I'm gonna say
It's-
one more thing after you.
Oh no, go ahead, Dr. No.
Tim Meadows, if you out there, contact me, come watch the show, Tim, and just, hey man, support us, because I remember, man, I used to pick you up, used to pick me up in that doggone orange Volkswagen, and we used to go to them bands and check things out, man, and you know, I see you got a lot of success, so I love you, brother, and check us
Thank you.